Good morning, dear students. In the previous section with you, we talked about anterolateral system, which is an ascending tract or the sensory tract which carried sensory information to the sensory cortex for analysis. All sensory information passed through thalamus. So thalamus is an important sensory relay station. Not only that, it has varied vital functions, and we will look into it in today's class. Objectives of this class will be to know what is thalamus, location of thalamus, gross anatomy of thalamus, relationship of other anatomical structures to thalamus, classification of thalamic nuclei, connections, functions and lesions of thalamic nuclei, the specific functions of the thalamic nuclei and applied physiology. This class will be Thalamus 1, where we will see what is thalamus, location of the thalamus, gross anatomy of the thalamus and relationship of other anatomical structures to thalamus. In the subsequent classes, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, we will continue with the further topics. So what is thalamus? Thalamus relays and integrates sensory and motor information, gives inputs to the sensory cortex except smell, and also receives motor information from layer 4 of cerebral cortex. It is a gatekeeper of information to cerebral cortex. Thalamus, the name was assigned by Wilhelm His in 1893. It literally means inner chamber. Where is thalamus located? Thalamus is located in the core of the cortical white matter. That part of the thalamus where it is present is called as diencephalon. Diencephalon is a part of forebrain. It is the posterior part of the forebrain. These are the structures which are present on either side of the third ventricle. The diencephalon actually consists of 4 parts. One is epithalamus, 2 is thalamus, which is also called as dorsal thalamus, 3 is hypothalamus and 4 is subthalamus. The epithalamus consists of pineal gland, habenula, stria medullaris, which are concerned with circadian rhythm, reproduction and so on. Hypothalamus has central neuroendocrine function, and subthalamus is connected with sexuality, food and water intake and cardiovascular activity. This slide shows about the diencephalic structure. The blue one is the thalamus. The posteriorly what we have is that orange structure which is epithalamus. Below here the green structure is the subthalamus, and the floor of the thalamus consists of the hypothalamus, which is the lavender in color. So thalamus is a diencephalic structure. It is present in the core of the diencephalon, deeper to the cerebral structures. Anatomy of the thalamus. Thalamus is a large dual-lobed mass of grey matter of cells located at the top of the brainstem superior to the hypothalamus. These are egg-shaped. There are 2 thalami, one on each side of the brain, separated by the third ventricle. Its length is 3 centimeters and width is 1.5 centimeters. The 2 thalamus is connected by a mass which is called as introthalamic adhesion. This is also called as massa intermedia. Now we know the thalamus is egg-shaped. So it has an anterior end and a posterior end, and it has 4 surfaces. We will look into the relationship of these surfaces too. First, the anterior pole or the anterior end. It constitutes the tubercle of thalamus, and it is related to the interventricular foramen of Monro and the vessels which can have the mnemonic stacks. The posterior end consists of the pulvinar nuclei, which is the largest nuclei, and it is in connection with medial geniculate body, lateral geniculate body and superior colliculi. The superior surface of the thalamus is related to the central part of the lateral ventricle, transverse cerebral fissures, head and body of the caudate nucleus. So we can see the superior surface here. In this picture it shows the caudate nucleus, the choroid plexus, stria terminalis. The inferior surface is related to the hypothalamic sulcus, cerebral aqueduct of Sylvius, cerebral peduncle and subthalamus. The medial surface has the intrathalamic adhesion on the hypothalamic sulcus. It is also related to the lateral wall of the third ventricle. The lateral surface is related to the posterior limb of the internal capsule, lentiform nucleus, which is the globus pallidus and putamen, part of basal ganglia. Again, we will sum up the relations. Laterally, it is related to the posterior limb of internal capsule. Medially, together with hypothalamus, forms the lateral wall of the third ventricle. Superiorly, related to the caudate nucleus, fornix and lateral ventricle, and inferiorly to the hypothalamus anteromedially and subthalamus posterolaterally. So here, this picture again shows the relationships. Blood supply of the thalamus includes posterior cerebral artery and posterior communicating artery. Knowledge about this is important because if the blood supply is cut off, it leads to thalamic infarct causing thalamic disease. Internal structure of the thalamus consists of white matter and grey matter. White matter is scanty and the structures of the white matter are called as stratum zonale, external medullary lamina and internal medullary lamina. So what is this stratum zonale? The thalamus is dorsally covered by a thin lamina-like structure and this is called a stratum zonale. The internal medullary lamina is a Y-shaped sheet of white matter consisting of intranuclear thalamic connections dividing the thalamus into lateral, medial and anterior nuclear masses. It is an afferent gateway of cerebral cortex. External medullary lamina consists of thalamocortical and corticothalamic fibers covering the lateral surface. It separates the lateral and the ventral thalamus from reticular nucleus and subthalamus. The grey matter, which forms a major part of the thalamus, consists of three masses of nuclei separated by Y-shaped internal medullary lamina. The regions are the anterior part, the lateral part and the medial part. Thanks for patient listening. Now we will go to the next presentation to continue with the second part of thalamus.